In a world where chaos reigns, one maker dares to dream of order. In a universe of clutter where creativity suffocates, he will rise to organize. From the ashes of disarray, a new era of efficiency will be born. Prepare yourself. The all-consuming makerspace mess must meet its master. There's quite a blurry line separating the ideas of too messy and livable. I tend to maintain a rather average amount of mess where I can find everything I need with just a second or two of looking around, and I don't need to put everything back in its designated spot. However, when you get 3 to 5 to even more projects going on at the same time, the mayhem mixes together and becomes an uncontrollable beast. I can only withstand its gaze for so long until I snap and turn into an alter ego akin to Monk. After that, all bets are off, and everything within my eyesight is at the mercy of my organizational ambitions. Thus, in order to satiate my hunger for sudden cleanliness, I set out on a quest of legends. I want to create a space where there's a lower barrier to entry to starting and finishing projects, which is really what this is all about. We're talking Gridfinity Alex drawers, quick access multiboards, long-term storage in the closet. What's not to love? Let's get into how we can actually get this done. Starting out with a crowd favorite, Gridfinity. Gridfinity is a modular storage solution created by Zach Friedman, and it took the space by a well-deserved storm. Picture a world where all your bins, organizers, and tools come together like adult Legos. It's based on a standardized grid of 42 millimeters, allowing you to create custom storage solutions that perfectly fit your own needs. And the best part, it's open source, so makers worldwide are constantly creating new compatible designs. Multiboard, on the other hand, is basically a wall-mounted cousin of Gridfinity. It has been brought to the community through Jonathan over at Keep Making, and it's basically a 3D printed pegboard ecosystem on steroids. Imagine a wall where your tools and supplies don't simply just hang out. They snap in and out with satisfying precision. Multiboard lets you create a dynamic, reconfigurable wall storage system that grows along with your needs. And the project has branched out into many various applications. Together, Gridfinity and Multiboard make the dream team when it comes to makerspace organization. They are highly customizable, they're rooted in modularity, they're fully 3D printable, and they're being constantly expanded upon. Be sure to check out Zach Friedman's channel if you want to learn more about Gridfinity, and also make sure to check out Keep Making because this multiboard project is absolutely awesome. With 3D printing, if you can dream it, you can build it. It's kind of cliche, but if you have a weird thingy-mabobber, all you have to do is make a container that can fit that thingy. You won't need any more almost right store-bought solutions. If you don't like something, just make something new. If a hook broke or you lost a bin, just print a new one. While there's an initial investment into the time and filament usage to get everything up and running, in the long run, you're going to be saving money. And not only that, you get to join a community of makers who are all working together for the same goal. Now let's talk about bringing these organizational dreams to life. And a quick spoiler alert, it involves a lot of printer humming and me starting progress bars. For the multi-board system, I decided to make 2 boards, one on either of my Alex drawers that are underneath my desk. They're going to be organized in 2x3 grids, with each grid panel being 9 segments long. In order to print out all the panels for these grids and also the mounting solutions, it ended up being like 60 hours on my P1S. But wait, there's more. I spent another 10 to 20 hours printing to make a ton of attachments, stuff that looked cool. And so far, I have 2 MVPs. I really like the plier holders that Debu made over on Things, or Thangs, or however it's pronounced. And I also really like the classic hooks made by Keep Making. The original designs are so easy and so satisfying when they go to click in. Now for the Gridfinity system, I had 4 drawers in total that I wanted to outfit, and each of those drawers can contain a 12x7 unit grid. Each grid skeleton took a few hours, which turned into 9 hours in total for a single drawer, which means about 36 hours for just the grid pieces going into all 4 drawers. That doesn't sound too bad since we just talked about the enormous amount of time the multi-board system took. I still have to make all the bins to go on top of it. I was able to fit 25 of the 1-unit bins on my P1S, and each of those prints took about 7 hours. So while all those prints are finishing up, I decided to set my sights on some side quests. The first involves freeing the back of the Alex drawers that IKEA so ruthlessly held captive. I mean, these units are like 90 bucks each, and you're paying for about 70% of a drawer. I researched a few ways that people went about solving this. Other people have snipped off the second bearing on the rail that allows it to come out a little bit further, but then makes it super unsteady and not really able to bear much weight, which isn't great for my case of trying to store a ton of screws and hardware in it. So I decided to come up with my own solution. I utilized the pre-existing threaded hole and just reversed the direction the bolt was screwed in. I then cut out a channel on the side of the drawer for that inserted screw to traverse. The screw then stops the drawer at whatever length you made in the channel, and you can access every single centimeter of the space. Although there is some additional upfront effort that has to go into it, and some may consider the solution a little janky, the drawers are sufficiently supportive and stable, and both bearing sections are still in the rails, so there's a lot for the drawer to hang on to. There's also no interference from a screw or rope or anything on the inside of the drawer, so I can span Gridfinity across the entire thing without worrying about any sort of interference. I'm sure somebody could find out a better solution than what I'm doing, but for me, this works perfectly fine. For the second side quest, I would attack the Closet of Doom. I've been using this space for my 3D printers, for my clothes, and any sort of long-term storage with things like suitcases, bedding, electronics, and anything else. I decided the best way to solve the current mess I had was to make an even bigger mess, so I tore everything out. I started to fall victim to the classic toss it in a pile and hope nothing falls over mindset without thinking about the next time I would have to use that item or the item below it. I spent hours on the ground, throwing away old things that I haven't touched in years, categorizing similar items, grouping those items into cardboard boxes that I kept for some unknown reason, labeling all those boxes and placing them to the side to be sorted later. I even bought some cheap Amazon Basics shelves to provide some sort of vertical real estate. The worst of it was the screws. I'm pretty sure my past self was trying to torture my current self for my life choices because I had several bags of carelessly combined hardware that had no affiliation to each other. However, when I stood up, stretched my back, and realized that I'll probably have to go to a chiropractor now, I was able to revel in all of the empty drawers, all of the empty space on the floor that I could actually walk around in. This is freaking awesome. And ta-da! Welcome back to my room tour vlog. Here we have the Alex drawers with Gridfinity set up in them. This is a electronics drawer with the most used connectors, really cool SD, micro SD, and USB card holders, any storage solutions, bricks, stuff like that. Also throughout the drawers, you'll see these awesome little Gridfinity inserts. They're just the base of the Gridfinity bins, and they slot in to make a nice little floor if you're not using that space. And then I have the tools for screwing stuff in. I got all my Allen wrenches, all my screwdrivers, the LTT screwdriver, any bits. Look at that full extent, wow. Then in the top here, we have self-tapping screws, all organized. We have some springs and just random components that I use on an every now and then basis. And then we have cute little M2s, M3, M4, M5, and they're all organized, ascending by length. I have, again, a ton more room here. Now for the multi-board. I have most of the tools that I use on a daily basis there, along with some files and a little box cutter. And then I have stuff for securing, holding, measuring. Now, don't worry about that, I'm packing up for a trip. We have clothes, and then we have projects, more projects there, ongoing project there. This is all kind of quick access stuff that I can grab out and work on whenever needed. Then we have a little bit longer term stuff. We have like sanding equipment and power tools, along with painting, finishing. And then I have organized on the top, etc., etc. And then the 3D printers. Let's go. And there you have it, my very own makerspace setup for at least the time being. This is the sort of thing that will grow and change with any new project you take on and any requirements that come along with it. What attachments do you think I should make next, and what sort of improvements would you have made if you were in my situation? I want to make a retractable cable attachment next for the multiboard, and potentially work on some labels for the screws, because I think if I add any more, I'm gonna very quickly lose track of them. I challenge you to look around your room and find a single thing that you could optimize to lower the barrier entry for you to just do what you love. For me, it's making stuff, so this is freaking awesome.